Hello, in this video I will tell you what IELTS is. So, IELTS, the word itself stands for words like International English Language Testing System. A lot of people take this test to prove that they have a certain level of English to apply to a university degree or to work abroad in an English speaking country. Alright, let's talk into the types of IELTS, the test exam itself. Well, there are two major ones. It's IELTS Academic and IELTS General Training. The first one, IELTS Academic, is mostly taken by students, graduates, undergraduates, mostly for those who are applying to a university, to an educational institution, and also to work abroad and so on. Well, whereas IELTS General Training is for those who are planning to migrate to an English speaking country to work, also to do some training in those countries, and so on. Most of the times it is IELTS Academic that people usually take. And we've got also IELTS for UKVI for those who need to get a visa from the UK government. They have to take these specific IELTS types. Although they do not vary from the previous two types, like as UKVI Academic and General Training, they are exactly the same as the other IELTS test types. It's just intended for those who are planning to apply for an English visa. Well, that's why the procedure, the controlling might be a bit stricter for these two types of tasks, for these types of IELTS. And we've got life skills B1 and A1. Well, for life skills it is only two skills, listening and speaking, tested, and there is no just a score. It'll be either pass or fail. So as you can see in brackets here, life skills B1 is to prove that you've got B1 level of English, and it is for those who need to get a permanent visa stay, a permanent stay permission. It has a permit stay from the UK government. And for A1, it is those who've got a family member living in the UK and them going to live with them for a long time. They need to get a visa, and for them this type of exam will do. And that's all. Let's talk about the formats of taking the test. Well, there are two major ones actually, on paper and on computer. Both of them are taken in a test center. You go there, and for on paper format you'll be given paper to do the test, whereas for on computer one you will be sat in front of a computer to do the test. We've got the third option. It is an opportunity for those who live far from a megapolis, most of the times in their cities or maybe towns. They don't have a test center to take the test, so for them not to have the hassle of traveling to another city to take the test, the British Council or this IELTS has this option online format. But the downside of this one is not many institutions accept it, so you have to check it with the institutions that you are applying to if they are okay with accepting the results of such an exam. Alright, let's talk about the content of the test. We've got 4 parts. It is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We have listening part lasting for around 30 minutes, but if you are taking a paper-based test, you will be given additional 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the booklets that you were working with onto an answer sheet. And Okay, let's talk about the content of the listening part. Overall, you will be given 40 questions. So actually there are 4 sections. Each section has 10 questions. So overall 40, and each section has their own recording. You'll be listening to the recordings and finding the answers for the questions. And reading will take an hour exactly, and there will be no extra time given, even it is a paper-based exam. And the content of the part, there are 3 passages overall and 40 questions in total. And for writing, you will be given an hour, and this part has 2 tasks for general and academic. The writing task 1 is different, but writing task 2 is similar, writing an essay for both of them. And for speaking, which lasts for 11 to 14 minutes, which contains 3 parts, you have to be able to do an interview in the first part, be able to give a monologue in the second part, and also be able to discuss some abstract notions in part 3. And let's talk about the band scores. Well, you know that the maximum band score you can get in this test is 9. And as you can see above the band score 9, it indicates your level is C2 proficiency. And this band scale here shows you by text inspector, shows you what level of English you have for each band score. So let's say you want to get band 7 plus. It means that your level should be C1 and above. You see? Yes, you might get, let's say you have an intermediate level, B1, right? And you want to get band 7 or plus. For you to be able to have a chance to get it, I would suggest to study a C1 level till you have C1 level of English to improve your level, and then only take the test. Because as you can see, this IELTS exam is the most honest exam in the world, I would say. It most of the times really indicates the exam taker's true level. So having B1 level, it's unlikely you can get C1, you know. That's why if you really want a high band score, first improve your English. Alright, let's move on to the next. We've got how we get those band scores. For both listening and reading, it's easy. You will have 40 questions. For a certain number of correctly answered questions, you will have a certain band score. So as you can see, to get band 7, you have to answer to 30 to 31 questions correctly and above. And for reading, to get band 7, you have to also at least answer to 30 questions correctly. Alright, let's talk about the other sections, which are writing and speaking. First, writing. For these sections, there are no such numbers, but you will be giving a certain band score based on this criteria. Task achievement for writing task 1, task response for writing task 2, and the rest other coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammar range and accuracy are all for both task types. Well, now let's talk about which band score you can get for each criterion. We've got a public version of each writing task 1 and writing task 2, as you can see. For band 9, and this descriptor we read, fully addresses all parts of the task, presents a fully developed position and answer to the question with relevant, fully extended, and well supported ideas. Well, if you have that in your essay, you can get band 9 and so on. So for each of these criterion, you'll have separate up to 9 scores, and the means of those scores will be given to you as an overall band score for this section. And now let's talk about speaking, where you will also have 4 separate criteria. Those are fluency and coherence. Fluency is how fluently you speak in English, and coherence is how well organized your speech is, and pronunciation is one of the major features of your speaking, which also contributes to your higher band score, or bringing your score down if your speech is incomprehensive. So you have to work hard on this part. And then also lexical resource and grammar range and accuracy is similar to those for writing. And lexical resource is how wide range of vocabulary you have. For grammar range and accuracy, how different types of sentences you can use as well as correctly. And that's all. Here's also band descriptors. All these band descriptors are free to access on the internet. You may just search for these band descriptors and you'll get them instantly. Okay, that's all for today for introducing to the IELTS. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. And also, if you spotted any mistakes here in the given video, also feel free to indicate it in the comments, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for your attention. Have a good one. Bye.